Warm greetings from the High 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans on this Sunday, October 11, 2020. I'd like to bring you said information pertaining to the serial killer, Sam Little. Another victim has been identified. If you need verification for the storyline, please log on to 3 WRCB TV for news. Update. Woman found 39 years ago off I-24 in Dade County, identified as Patricia Parker. While the name of the victim will not be released until a press conference on Friday, the GBI says they were able to identify her through the DNA of her family. A Chattanooga family has answers after their loved one went missing nearly 40 years ago. This case is one of the 90 tied to Sam Little, described as one of the nation's most prolific serial killers. After nearly 4 decades, a Chattanooga man now knows what happened to his mother. Her family has been looking for her for 30 plus years. The comfort in her son this morning to know that his mom didn't leave him. She was actually killed, and that's how she left his life to me. That was the best part of this whole case. Joe Montgomery, special agent, was the best part in this whole case, says Joe Montgomery, special agent in charge for the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, said during a press conference on Friday. A year and a half after investigators released a sketch and clay rendering of Jane Doe, they now know her real name, Patricia Parker. She was 30 years old when she met Sam Little at a nightclub on 9th Street in Chattanooga 39 years ago. The area is now known as Martin Luther King Boulevard. Her body was found off I-24 in Dade County, Georgia. The case sat cold for more than 3 decades until Little confessed to the crime. GBI Special Agent Steve Rogers was there. You're trying to match what you know about the case with what he's telling you to try and judge if he knows what he's talking about, Rogers said. But Little didn't know her name. Friends and family started calling in almost immediately after investigators released a sketch and clay rendering, saying they believed the woman was Parker. I think it was such a good example of what Miss Parker looked like at the time that it helped and revived those memories of people who knew her and her family, Montgomery added. Investigators took DNA samples from Parker's son and compared them to DNA from Parker's bones. Friday, we learned they finally had a match. To me, it's a huge relief because this is one of many that I have that I want to see solved. When you talk and you meet the families, you know what they've had to go through, Montgomery said. Little is considered the nation's most prolific serial killer after confessing to killing more than 90 women. The 80-year-old now sits inside a California prison, serving multiple life sentences for other cases. Mike Mathis oversees Hamilton County's cold case unit. He said solving the case wouldn't have been possible without the teamwork from multiple departments in different states. We all have the same goal. We do it for these people on the wall and for their families. We don't discriminate, Mathis said. It's now up to the district attorney in Lafayette, Georgia, to decide how a criminal case could move forward. Investigators said a trial probably isn't likely as it would be costly to taxpayers, but they are looking at the possibility of a plea agreement. Investigators identified the woman at the center of a 39-year-old case as Patricia Parker. According to GBI Assistant Special Agent Joe Montgomery, Parker was 30 years old when she was killed and would be 69 if she was still alive today. Montgomery said Parker has a son who lives in Chattanooga whose DNA helped confirm her identity. And that's most of them just repeating the same information over and over. Okay, I just want to make sure I wasn't leaving anything out. So, Patricia Parker has been identified as a victim of serial killer Sam Little. Sam Little is currently incarcerated. He is a very old man, but he has crossed many states in the United States. He has also been linked to 2, I believe, women here in the Knoxville, Tennessee area and the states, Memphis area. He was all over the board, picking up women, meeting and greeting women in bars, wherever, and his liking was strangulation. He had a fascination with the woman's neck. He said he's had that fascination ever since he was a child. And you will see that in said documentaries pertaining to Mr. Little on the ID and the Oxygen Network. Please log over to those said networks to find the said information in documentaries made about Mr. Little. He is, I'm telling you, watching him talk and speak about the women He has drawings of the women from memory. It's baffling and it's disturbing and it's creepy as hell. And to know that this man sits talking about those women, skinning and grinning with no remorse, the way he talked about them, very vile, with venom and hate, disdain. Obviously, he did not like women very well. The fact that he was attracted to the neck of a woman and he didn't mind choking her. And that was his MO, strangulation. I don't even think he probably even had sex with some of the women because he was really more in tune to killing them than actually having sexual intercourse with the victims. Sam Little is heinous, and he's like so many men walking around. He is a narcissist and a sociopath, and he is skinning and grinning in people's faces, pretending to be a human being, but he was nowhere near human. All he was a lump of flesh. Like so many men and women walking around pretending to be sane, pretending to be nice and kind, but they are not. He picked vulnerable women. Naturally, you get in the car with the man, he feels like, well, she don't care, she don't mind. Some were streetwalkers, possibly some were not, but nonetheless, they were human beings. So it doesn't matter if they were streetwalkers or not, or they met him in a club, a bar, a restaurant, they still were human beings. Please check out the said information on the ID and the Oxygen Network. There are documentaries pertaining to Mr. Sam Little. I am glad that this lady has been properly identified. Miss Patricia Parker has been properly identified as a victim, and now she can rest in peace, and her family can have closure, and her son to now know that she was murdered, sadly, by Mr. Sam Little. Whew. Wow, what a mouthful. I want to thank you all for joining me on this dreary Sunday in the high 10. And thank you for, once again, your kind words and prayers. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comments below. Honey, this is Everyday Shenanigans, and I will be back with more videos. Thanks for joining me. You all have a wonderful week, prosperous week. Be safe. Mask up, America. COVID is real. COVID is real. Amen. Thanks a lot. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Bye-bye.